Hi, this is PR Sundar. Welcome to question and answer session. There are some interesting questions. Let us go to the questions straight away. Mr. Neeraj Verma, how is REIT for investment purpose? Do we get collateral margins in REITs also? Can it be a good alternative for liquid Bs or Bharat Bond? There are only two listed players, Embassy Office and Mindspace. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. Just like you buy a share from the share market and you become a shareholder, you are a part owner of the company. The same way, when you buy the REITs, you become part owner of the office buildings that they own. And they rent it out, whatever the rental they are getting it, they will distributing this as a dividend to you. But the REITs will not be accepted as a collateral by the National Stock Exchange of India. So, if you invest in REITs, you cannot use that as a collateral. The advantage in REITs is that you get some better return than Bharat Bond or liquid Bs. The negative thing, you cannot give it as a collateral. Next question, Mr. Manjunath, if one day you plan to quit trading and embark on a new journey, what would that be? What is your passion and teaching maybe? I'm too old to go back to teaching once again. And my passion, as he has stated, is teaching and trading only. So, therefore, I will continue to be a trader. Next one, Mr. Rajesh Dharam. I'm planning to buy Bank Nifty long futures, roll over my positions by purchasing next long futures as there is a lot of scope towards upside. If I consider this strategy for 1 year, what would be your suggestion? Comments. There are a lot of people ask this question, sir, instead of buying it in the cash market, why not I buy it in future market and every month I roll it over. That means whatever I bought in the current month, sell it and buy it in the next month. So that's called rollover. If you want to take a long position and every month when you roll over the current month future and next month future, there will be some premium. A normal premium for Bank Nifty next month future will be about 100 points. So in that alone, you will be losing about 1200 points in 1 year. So that is almost 5 to 6% of the Bank Nifty. So Bank Nifty has to appreciate more than 6% for you to make gains. So therefore, if your investment is for long term, it's better to buy it in the cash market, Bank Bs, rather than buying it in the future market. If somebody is bearish over a longer period of time, he can short the Bank Nifty future and he can roll over the short every month. So he will indirectly benefit out of the rollover premium. In rollover alone, he will be making about 1200 rupees profit. That means he will lose only if Bank Nifty moves more than 6% in the next 1 year. And again, 100 point premium, I am assuming that may not be the case every month. Every month it may differ. Sometime 40-50 points, sometime even 200 points also. So, therefore, if your investment horizon is more than 1 year, better not to buy in futures. And however, if you are very good at hedging the positions and then taking positions in future, makes sense. Because the hedging cost is less if you are holding a future position. And your hedging cost will be more if you are holding a position in cash market. Next one, Dhuru B. Hello sir, is there a possibility that due to the new rules by SEBI, traders will short sell using stock lending and borrowing mechanism than futures? Yes, there is a possibility, but however, there are a lot of drawbacks in stock lending and borrowing. Just to give you an example, if you look at Reliance Industries, the shares are trading around 2150, but in future it is trading at 2160. it's trading around 10 rupees premium. If somebody want to short sell, if he sell it in the future, he get 10 rupees extra premium. But the same thing, if you want to short it in the cash market and want to borrow the shares from stock lending and borrowing scheme and you want to give it as a delivery, then you can short at the current market price. So one thing is that he lose the advantage of this 10 rupees. Second thing, when he borrows the shares from stock lending and borrowing scheme and he has to pay some price. And third disadvantage is that if you are shorting in future, if you are selling a put option as a hedge, you need to pay only the exposure margin. You do not have to pay the span margin. Whereas if you borrow the shares from stock lending and borrowing scheme and give delivery for short selling, and then you want to sell a put option, you will have to pay full margin for option. So these are the three disadvantages why stock lending and borrowing scheme has not really taken off in India. Some countries, there is no stock futures at all. You want to short, there is no way you can do using futures. There is no stock futures. The only way you can short is to borrow from stock lending and borrowing scheme and then short it and give delivery. So I hope one day SEBI may be going towards this direction. Next one, Mr. Atul, interested to know your story about how you changed your profession from academic field to successful option trader and any circumstances which led to join the current profession. Most of the people who have become full-time traders, they become full-time traders because they did not know what else to do. And I also became a full-time trader for the same reason. But when I started and I learned many things and I made many mistakes and I learned new things and I have developed myself into this stage. Otherwise, it was not something pre-planned. Next one, when you say DII, FII are net buyers and sellers, does buying and selling include only fresh position or does it include squaring of the position, like buying could include creating new buy position or square of existing short position also. So whenever we talk about FII and DII position, we talk only about the cash market position, not the futures and options. So only in futures and options, people can short sell and that they can buy. So in cash market, so it is purely your buying means you are buying fresh, your selling means you are selling whatever you are holding it. So whatever I am talking, they are all related to cash market only, not futures and options. Next one, Mr. Sachin, sir, can a stock be in trading ban on expiry day as well? Yes. In fact, last expiry, there are about 8 to 10 stocks were under the trading ban even on the expiry day. As long as market-wide position limit is more than 80% and the stock will continue to be in trading ban. I have already done a video. Once market-wide position limit crosses 95%, it comes under the trading ban, and as long as it does not fall below 80, it will continue to be in trading ban. Even on expiry date, it can be on the trading ban. How much trading experience is required to be a confidently profitable? You can trade confidently, but whether you can trade confidently profitable or not, that I am not very sure. So how much trading experience? Some people become expert, even within few months, and some people do not become expert even after 30 years. So there is no standard answer for this. That depends on person to person. Next one, Mr. Shivam, why Bharat Bond is so volatile? Please clarify. Bharat Bond is a bond. In an economy, when the interest rate goes down, the bond prices will go up. when the interest rate goes up, the bond prices will come down. So when the dollar index moves, Indian rupees moves, so the expectation of interest rates also keep moving, and that makes Bharat Bond volatile. But though it is volatile in the short term, in the long term, it will give you about 6 to 7% return. I think that is one of the best instrument available for safe investment, as well as to give it as a collateral for trading purpose. Next one, sir, if I have 2.5 lakh in my account and I sell Nifty 2 lot, next day Nifty open at 500 points low, example, my loss will be 5 lakh. My question is how they can recover that money from me if I played game like not to pay. Actually, you think the NSE would not have thought about all these things? A lot of research has gone. So whatever the margin money they are collecting, that will take care of 99% of the time. So 99% probability that market will not fall more than the margin money. In this example, you have given 5 lakh rupees loss, 500 point. So Nifty lot size is 75. If it falls 500 point, still your loss will be only about 35 to 40,000 rupees only, and the margin money is more than 1 lakh rupees. That is sufficient. Even if Nifty falls 1200 point, still your maximum loss will be only about 90,000, but margin money is more than that. The problem will come only when Nifty falls more than 1500 point, where your MTM loss will be more than the margin money. So that probability is very, very low. Next one, Mr. Arjun, say I want to sell a covered call for Reliance and I am already holding the Reliance from long back. Can I pledge the Reliance share and perform my covered call on Reliance itself? Yes, you can do it. You can pledge the Reliance shares and you can use that margin to sell call option in Reliance. Next one, what is the downside risk of calendar spread, selling near expiry and buying far expiry for the same strike price options? So in calendar spread, when you are selling the near expiry and buying far expiry, you will be paying more money than what you are collecting. So that difference can be the potential loss, and or the actual loss can be slightly more than that difference also. So that is the downside risk. Next one, Mr. Ramakrishna Reddy. Hi sir, this is a correction or crash, please explain. In my opinion, it is only a correction. The market should stabilize and it should start moving higher. So let us see what happens in the next few months. Next one, Mr. Mahesh Gaikwad. Sir, how long this bloodbath will continue? The bloodbath will continue as long as there is a blood. So once there is no more blood, there will not be any bloodbath. Bloodbath is not a correct word, and my reply was just a joke. And this is just a normal correction. Look at US markets. Tesla on Thursday last week fell 8%. Friday it fell 8%. After falling 8%, from the bottom shot up 11%. Then Saturday, Sunday holiday, Monday also holiday. Tuesday market open, Tesla fell 21%. And today is Wednesday when I am shooting this video, and it is up about 7%. And look at the way the markets react in US. Tesla, Apple, Alphabet, Amazon, and Facebook, and Microsoft. These 6 stocks alone wiped out $1 trillion in the last 3 trading sessions. That is last Friday, this Monday and Tuesday. These 3 days, 6 companies, the total loss is $1 trillion. And just to know how big is this, that is half of the total market capitalization of all the stocks traded in Bombay Stock Exchange of India. So that is kind of fall, you can call it as a bloodbath. But what happened in Indian market is just a normal correction. By US definition, if the index is falling from 0% to 10%, that is only normal up and down. And falling more than 10%, less than 20%, that is called correction. And more than 20% fall is called a bear territory. So bloodbath and all, the correct word to use only when the market gets into bear territory. Otherwise, this is just a normal correction. Next one, please explain the difference between mutual fund and hedge fund and how they trade. Very simple. If somebody trading in cash market, that's a mutual fund. If somebody trading in futures and options market, that's a hedge fund. So mutual funds are allowed to trade only in cash market, but they can use futures and options only for the purpose of hedging. That hedging also, it has to be 1:1 only. Whereas hedge funds, they are allowed to trade in cash market also, they are allowed to trade in futures and options market also, but most of the hedge funds will be trading in futures and options market. Thank you for watching.